Welcome to the Trophyz and Medalz podcast, where we discuss sports, fashion, music, and entertainment. Where trophies are temporary and medals are forever. What side are you on? Welcome back to the Trophyz and Medalz podcast. Your boy Batman with the Ebbtide Crew. We got Tony Love and Twin in the building, and we have our special guest, actor, rapper, business owner, now writer, Brandon Pettis, aka Young Sleep. What's good, fellas?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
All right, so we got a lot of things to cover this week, mostly with our special guest today. But we'll also jump into, I know we spoke a little bit last week about DMX. We'll cover DMX passing along the lines of New York, them legalizing weed, and to the levels that they're legalizing weed there. There's a lot of changes as far as criminal laws there. Also, the recent voter laws that were updated in Georgia, as well as Eddie George taking over as head coach of Tennessee State for HBCUs. But first thing first, Young Sleep, Brandon, we got a series of questions we ask all of our guests so we can give our audience a feel, the energy and what your background would be bringing. So first thing first, when it comes to liquor, brown liquor or white liquor?
Hennessy, brown liquor all day. I'm a Hennessy drinker. Matter of fact, look, I'm already on it right now.
There you go.
See my Red Bull, you already know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Seafood boil or seafood gumbo?
Seafood ball.
Okay. No limit or cash money?
That's a hard one.
Ah.
I'm gonna have to go with no limit because they actually started. So I'm gonna go with no limit because they actually the founder of it. Cash money got bigger though. I'm gonna go with no limit. They the founders.
All right. And who's your favorite no limit artist?
My favorite Mystical. Yeah, that's my favorite artist.
All right. And last but not least,
My nigga.
New Orleans Saints or New Orleans Pelicans? I kind of know the answer to this.
This is an important one right here. Hold on. This is an important one right here. Hold on.
I'm gonna have to go with the Pelicans.
Oh, hell.
I mean, I'm a basketball, fan first, but when it comes to football, I am a Saints fan too. So, but I'm a basketball fan first. So I'm gonna have to go with the Pelicans.
I respect that.
All right. That's what's up. So, let's get into your background, man. Like, I don't know how long I've been knowing you. It was about 25 years, something like that. I don't know. Played ball together. But when we went to college, you got into the music scene. How did you start into that as far as your promoting and rapping? How did you get into that area first?
I started off actually doing hosting parties. And then from there, I actually went to DJing the party. So I was hosting and DJing, and I started seeing like the type of music that I was playing, and I could see how the crowd was moving and vibing off of different music. So I was like, I might as well come up with my own song and start rotating my own music into my DJ set and see how they come out. And it actually started to work. So then I just started perfecting my craft and actually just started really working on it. Kept on with it.
That's what's up. So you had a chance to actually record, with a Louisiana legend, Lil Boosie, on one of your songs on a remix. How did that come about, getting that connection?
So I had two records. Actually, I had two records with Boosie. I had an Antidote record, and then I got the Jesus Crazy record. So
Right.
DJ your boy, at the time DJ your boy Earl, we was working together. DJ your boy Earl had with Jam Type, me fool, and he heard the first we was just doing the Adidas Crazy song, and then he heard the antidote song. I want to get on that too. So he blessed me actually with that song, and Don't Go Now. And from there, you know, we've been just rocking and promoting it and working. Now that's been a while now, and it's like I say, I'm still getting royalties and downloads off that song to the day, and I haven't performed it in over 3 years.
Wow, that's that consistent money. Yeah, man, that was I just remember those days going out to Southeast and coming out there and partying and shit. And it should be wilding out, banging in the club. So
yeah,
that should be good times.
You mentioned you know, still getting you know, royalties off of some of the music. What's the importance of you know, I try to tell my son, you ain't gotta be the star, just, you know, you gotta be working so you can still get money in. What's the you know, how important is that just to get that
that's something that I actually study and before the music, because I know that, okay, once it's there and it's on site and it's online, that's where you get the money from. So I'm always constantly trying to find out where to put the music, where sites play the most, and how to get it on there, and how to get it in rotation on these playlists. So that's how I don't really worry about the shows, things of that nature. I'm worried about trying to get these streaming money. So I'm constantly putting it on different sites. So that is going to add up. So that's coming in regular, you know?
Yeah.
So that's actually more important than anything. Knowing the
Right.
Yeah, because Tony Love's son, he's aspiring to be an active musician, kind of along the same line as you. Do you think learning the business first is essential for someone's young career, or?
That's very essential, learning the business first, because that causes you not to be able to get screwed down the line.
Yeah.
Actually, you playing the game backwards if you don't know the business, and then now you're trying to catch up. By that time, you don't miss out on money. So I said, anything I get into first, I'm going to look it up, YouTube it, Google it, call some mentors, and just get information first, because that's the key to actually making the money, making residual money, and long-term income, you know? So that's how.
And that's what I had to explain to him, you know, to a fault, like, hey, I'm not going to be paying for you when you get old enough. You know, see how these little reruns come on all the time? That's residuals. Every time your likeness come on, that's money coming back to you. You know, only working you're gonna do is open the door and go to the mailbox to collect the check. That's it. That's it.
Open your phone up. I mean, I've been like I said, the streaming's pretty good. Like I said, they got iTunes, they got the Tune 4, you know, that you can get on CD Baby. I mean, it's a lot of YouTube is paying you now, Facebook is paying you, so it's a lot of different ways that you can make money here and there, and it's all gonna add up in one pot.
Yeah.
As far as music, do you see yourself doing more music in the future, or are you gonna look at your other ventures more so?
Actually, working on another album now, working on a project now that I'm working on, and I mean, it doesn't cost me anything to do it. So why not do it? You know, and put it online, and I got a little following already, so they already streaming it and listening to it in here and other different countries as well. So I mean, it doesn't make sense not to do it, you know.
Gotcha. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to put it out there.
And it's funny, funny how you mentioned all the other countries, because I tell Batman, like, hey, somebody from Russia hit our page.
Yeah, hitting the page in the podcast. Like, it seems weird at first, like when you go look at the analytics and stuff, looking at different countries that people be listening, it's like, how did they get to it? But I mean, as long as they get it, that's all that matters. So
how you come across us?
Right, you know what I'm saying? That should be crazy. Let's jump into your acting phase. So when did you start, and how did you open that door as far as getting into acting?
Actually, Shy Boy, I read it, Shy Boy, he's an engineer, actually, an actor as well. He used to do Outkast, Bobby Brown, a lot of people engineering. So he got me into acting, and he showed me what site to go to what place to go to start doing, because I started off doing background. And he was like, well, man, you start doing background, if they like you and see that you're putting in work, you'll start getting bumped up to different roles and different situations like that. So I started hitting all the little background roles. My first movie was the series Breakout King. That was the first one. They gave me a highlight in Breakout King. So I had like a little 2-second highlight, that they flashed my face. So I was like, once I seen that, I was like, I could really do this, So that's when I just started once again researching, trying to see how to do what different sites and what different film directors and what different places to go to. So I did that probably for about a month straight, just research. That's like how to really get into it. So my second film, I did a few more background films, but then when I did Free State of Jones with Matthew McConaughey, they bumped me up in that one. So I got a speaking role, and then from there I started getting the residuals for that movie. I did NCIS. I'm getting a lot of different little roles, just off your face being seen. You don't necessarily have to say nothing. It's just about your face being seen and getting put out there. And then I started getting more roles from there. So I just started digging deep into the movie thing because it actually was paying more than the music. So once I figured it out, I said, okay, I got to go ahead and go hard with this. So that's where I'm at now. I just been grinding and going hard at it, trying to get that one major role. And it's to the point now I'm gonna shoot my own film.
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna ask you about that. We're gonna bring that back up in a second. What you about to say, Tony Love?
No, yeah, there ain't nothing like that TV money and movie money, man. That once you come from music going to that, like I'm starting my own production company over here. Let's get more of this.
Yes, sir. That's
IMBD had you for like 11 credits. I feel like they shortened you on that. I'm pretty sure just from talking to you and seeing what you posted online in the past, I feel like you got way more credits than just 11.
Yeah. And the way IMDb works is you have to report this stuff. So some of the stuff I haven't reported.
Gotcha.
So that's the way that works. So you have to report a lot of your films and things of that nature. I have reported a lot of actually on purpose. Because I don't want to look like I'm doing a lot of stuff when I'm really trying to still grind. So I just some of that stuff keep movies on so people can see that and try to get more roles.
Okay. As far as acting, who do you feel personally is the best actor you worked with so far?
Actually, the best actor I worked with is Matthew McConaughey. That's probably the best actor I worked with. I'm talking about he gets in the character, and once he's in character, he's not getting out of it until after that scene. And I actually learned a lot from that, just watching him and how he moves and the things he was doing. I learned a lot on set because we shot that for about probably 2 months on set. So I got to actually see a lot of ways work ethic. So that's probably the best actor I've seen so far on the set. I mean, it had, like I said, some other was Girl Trip, you had Jada and all them that, they were pretty fluent with it, but that's probably the best I spent the most time with him, so I can say that was probably the best that I've seen on set.
What was the best set you've been on as far as whether it's just been doing your role / with the people you work with? What was like the best set you've been on so far, TV or movies?
But probably Roots, the new Roots. I don't know if y'all. That's probably the best set because there was a lot of stuff going on, and you got to see a lot of your history there. Like there was a lot. It was on the plantation filming it, so you got to actually. It really felt like you was there. You wearing a slave suit, on the plantation. It really gives you a vibe that you was on the plantation. So that's probably the best set because I actually got to really learn some stuff on that set. So that's probably the best one I've.
Now, being on that set, when the camera's rolling, did you like feel a certain kind of way being there? Like
it's like, almost like you feel the spirit of it. Like it's kind of crazy when when you in these places when they put you in that setting, like you feel that. So it's pretty interesting to see that. But it was like I actually felt like I was a slave, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty interesting.
Because
that's
I always
crazy.
feel like when I see movies, set in that time, I feel like our ancestors are just on the sideline watching, like, nah, it was rougher than that. That's y'all. What y'all did was good. That was nice, but you got your ass much worse than that.
I mean, even from back home, like we seen, we had plantations right by our schools and stuff back in the day. So like even growing up around that and being on the set, it still hits you like that. Like it's just a difference, I guess you could say.
I guess once you get to the point where you actually got the clothes on, you got to sound like it and talk like it, like so you feel the whole vibe of it. Like it's not like you passing in front of them or Edgard or Airline Highway. Like this is like you actually on the ground, the soil of this. I mean that what made it feel like it's real. Like, okay, I'm here.
Man.
Yeah, that would be some weird shit for me.
Yeah, more power to you.
Who are some? I mean, you may have some stuff coming up, but who are some actors that you would love to work with in the future? Whether it's personal favorites or just as far as how you think y'all personalities can mesh.
On a personal level, like I said, I have worked with Wesley Snipes, and then just one that's like a mentor of mine, TK Carter. He's a mentor of mine that I can reach out to and talk to any given day. So those type of guys that, like I said, I would like to work with in the film. But as far as just behind the scenes of being able to talk to and they helping me out and telling me different things to do, they're there right now to speak. So to have them two guys as mentors and active field, I mean, I don't know too many people could say they got that.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is it about Wesley Snipes that draws you into wanting to go back and forth with him?
Wes is like an energy guy, man. I mean, he buys off your energy and he feels that. And like I said, they actually give me good advice. Like they telling me things I should do and things that they went through that I have to watch out for. So when you have people like that who actually got your best interests at hand, I mean, you gotta go. You gotta give in to really listen. It's like having godfathers of acting on your team. Like I mean, so when I listen to you guys, I'm actually soaking up everything I can, from them. So I would like I said, one day, I would like to do a film with them, but it's like when you almost like a friend of somebody, you don't want to actually do no work.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that.
Good. You kind of mentioned it earlier, and just knowing your personality, as far as production or getting behind the camera, do you have plans to do that, or is that in the works right now?
I'm actually writing a couple of films now that I'm writing. One here in Oklahoma for some guys, and then I'm also writing a film that I want to do. And that's where the book came from. So the book came on writing the book to actually shoot some short films off the book. So that's why I want to get that wheel rolling, so I can actually go now and start doing mini films for the book. So that's where that came
from. Yeah. I think, if you can write in this business, you can really stretch your career a lot longer.
You put yourself in control.
Yeah, Tyler Perry, perfect example. Spike Lee.
Mm-hmm. And they've been on both sides of the camera. They were the writer, the producer, and that's where the money at.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, and like I said, I'm just the writing part. Once I get people to see how they are testing it with the writing, and how they like the writing, and how I'm saying it with different lingo, and then from there I'll be able to shift that to film. So that's my goal in the next year. Actually, this year while I'm working on
the and and with my son, that's why I'm not worried about him when he does get to pursue this career of his. I'm excited when he actually gets to do it, because I remember when he was a kid, he was trying to write a story by hand, and I gave him a little typewriter app on his tablet, and the motherfucker did 17 pages in an hour. Like, and you know, we talking about 7 or 8 years old, like, yeah, this is my story about the squirrel in the tree. I'm like, all right, nigga. I get 7.
So damn supportive. You're such a great father. Shit.
Well, like I said, I don't know how far along your son is, but I'm willing to help however I can, man, just to get things going for him and show him the stuff that I learned. I'm willing to pass it on. So that's the problem. So.
Yeah, you're definitely 13. Yeah, he just turned 13 in January, and
we tap in, man. I'll definitely be able to put him in some places and get him started.
Oh, definitely.
So kind of speaking along that, like, we had a comedian on a few weeks ago, and we was talking about how long your path may take. Some, people think that, they see stuff online or on social media thinking that when you act or you're an entertainer, period, like it just happens overnight. What advice do you give to people as far as that grind and how to keep it going?
My advice is just keep it fresh and consistent, and follow the trends too. Like, I mean, you gotta be able to, stuff's changing every day. You gotta adapt to that quickly, or you gotta know when the changes come before it comes. So you have to either be the creator of the change. So that's I just try to actually always try to figure out what's the next big thing coming, and always be on that wave to already be in front of that or on it, or at the lead of the pack of the new things and the new waves coming. So that's what I try to always study and watch, and just be consistent. Like I said, I mean, you got nothing but time, so be consistent with it until your clock stops.
Yeah.
I'm 75 and get my first major role. Hey, I got it.
Yeah.
So it's just consistent working at it and grinding, and people see that. I mean, they pay attention to. I mean, this dude been grinding for 10 years, man. Let me help him out. So you just got to stay at it, man. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm like, I'm focused. I got a tunnel vision, and I'm riding that tunnel right now, man. It's actually been working.
That's what's up. What you about to say, Tony?
Oh, mention with going back with the book. How long did it take you to write the book?
Actually, the book, I've been writing this book probably for about 6 years.
Okay.
I never really wanted to put it out because it was a radical fiction, and I'm like, man, they gonna go crazy off stuff. So it took me a while to courage to actually say, you know what, I'm gonna drop this and see what it do. So writing stories here and there, and then once I got it to the point where I was like, you know what, the new time. With the dropping, I got the ebook situation, the Kindle Unlimited, all that going on right now. So it's another avenue I can add to the money bank. So that's what made me drop. Just getting good feedback right now. I'm excited. I'm working on the next one already.
There you
That
go.
was up. Let's take a quick break, and then we can come back and jump into more details about the book, and get a little deeper dive on that. So just join back on that same link.
All right, no problem.
All right, moving on to like I was saying, your next phase as a writer. So your book came out. It came out Friday, if I remember correctly.
Friday, yeah. It actually came out April 9th. I released it. Actually, that was my birthday. I released it on my birthday, so I could have it.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Timestamp of when I released my first book, so that's when I dropped it. It's a fiction erotic book, like the Zane and Eric Jerome Dickey, those type of people. That's books.
Okay.
Speak for my mom and read those books, take those books. Those were the writers that I was actually reading and checking out. It stuck with me, and so I started being able. Once I read their books and I understood the flow and
Yeah.
the different words that you have to use to make people feel like they're actually in that scene, you know.
Mhm.
So that's what I did. I did a sample of, call it Sticky Links, which is the Quickie Edition. So I'm doing 10 short stories. And these short stories just quick to the point, and it's letting the reader really get an idea of how I write and how I somewhat think. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do probably 5 Quickie editions, and then I'm gonna find out what stories that people actually like the best, and I'll elaborate on those stories and make a novel on those stories.
Now, do you find that, reading a lot just, boosted up your own confidence to want to get into writing?
Yeah, actually, that's the only thing that actually made me confident to do it, was because I can see how the writer is making the reader feel some type of way. So that's when I'm writing music and then already be able to write music to make people move. I said, let me see if I can write music to make people feel this type of way. So that's what made me start doing it. Actually, it's getting good feedback right now. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I remember what was the director for Boys and Girls, Singleton, said that to Cube, like, if you can write a song, you can write a movie. And that's how Friday came about.
Yeah, you can write a song, you can write a book.
Taking time. But I mean, that's a good point. You kind of answered one of my questions earlier as far as why get into writing. I mean, it's a perfect avenue if you want to get into writing a movie. You know what I'm saying? Writing the book, setting that ground and foundation first.
And also, I try to do things that's going to always be there. Like, books going to always, it's going to leave a legacy. You know what I'm saying? Your name is always around with books, with music, with movies. So if you want to be remembered here on this earth when you leave here, you got to have things that make people remember you and where they can go back in history and see. So that's why I try to have leave things like that, like books, movies, and music. All those things will never be forgotten if it's in the right places.
Yeah, I say the art is always going to outlive you. Somebody's going to, dig through some old crate, even if it wasn't a hit. They're going to dig through some old crate, find your stuff, go through old, off-brand books and just find, this seemed interesting right here, and find that and go with that.
And all those residuals steady come. So when you're not here, it goes to your son, to your kids.
Yeah.
Like that's what I try to just leave things that can always live on, outlive me, like man said, outlive me. And that's the things I'm trying to leave. Because at the end of the day, I know a lot of people pass, and once they pass, no one knows.
So nobody till somebody kills you. One thing that we've always said, and it's kind of like in the title of our podcast, is like, and it was actually in one of the topics we talked about last week, Russell Westbrook. The fact that you complete something or reach a goal is an accomplishment of itself. For someone like you that's done, my opinion, White Bread might think different. I think you was a pretty good basketball player. You've been in music, you've been in acting, and now you're a writer. As far as completing a task, did you ever envision that as a kid, like to do all these different things?
Well, I can say I envisioned of actually doing things. So like I said, as a kid, I was a ball boy for the Cleveland Indians. Like that right there was like big, because that gave me the scene. Okay, I'm around major league players. I was around the lights on the big screen. So that actually got me started where I want this moment. Like I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to always constantly do this. So that kept the drive going. Like I said, in sports, I mean, it was the same. I mean, if we would have had a good coach, we always
we talk about that all the time.
To make it to the next level, we had somebody actually to push us to that point and actually go out here kids and help recruit, find scouts to come in and things of that nature. I think that would have been in sports, in the sports field, but because we didn't, other fields that we can control. And see, music I can control.
I mean, you bring up the ball boy point, former ball boys, Larry Fitzgerald, Common, Trey Young, the Hawks. Being close to that and being able to see that.
I mean, that's a good point. That's something I tell my son all the time. Like, he's really trying to amp up the basketball thing. And I be trying to introduce him to people who grew up with, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? This person played D1 football or basketball. This person did that. He likes music. He likes art. And I've been trying to introduce him to people like, you know what I'm saying, to show him that you can actually do it if you stick to the program. And just to know that it's something that's reachable. And like you said, like being a ball boy and being around that talent, like you said, you get a feel of it and you're gonna always want to chase after it. So I think that's something that should, for anybody that's young in whatever it is, sports, music, entertainment, you gotta have that push and that drive and motivation.
Yeah.
Just putting the kids around us, like, if you put them in that environment, you take them to the NCAA games, take them to the place. A lot of times, we don't, as a culture, we don't really take our kids to places like that. We let them watch TV, but for you to see it in person, I remember when Jordan came to New Orleans at the Superdome. We went to see Jordan play. I mean, it was like a off game that they had, but Jordan actually came to the Superdome and like Chicago versus I don't know who it was, but it was
I think I went to that game. That was probably against the Nuggets. I remember that because Chris Jackson was there.
Yeah. As a kid seeing that, you're like, man, I'm watching Jordan at the stage. Things like that drives you and motivates you to actually want to do more and not stop until you get some type of satisfaction for yourself.
Yeah, that's what I did with my son when I was coaching AAU. I was doing 10th and 11th grade, and we used to travel and stuff. So I used to take him on the trips with me, and have him hang out with the players. You know what I'm saying? Keep them up, like the ones that continue playing there in college now. It's like, okay, remember so and so that we used to go eat with? Okay, he playing at this school. He working out five times a week. He eating right. He doing X, Y, and Z, keeping up with his grades. So showing him like this is somebody that I played PlayStation with, and I'm seeing, my dad is sending the videos of him dunking on people. So like, what I'm saying, it's something to keep him, dangling that carrot in front of him.
Yeah.
I think once I got dunked on by Brandon Dean that time, I think that was the time that I kind of.
No, your boy caught you. What's your boy that went to, I want to say White Castle, Dupree, that went to LSU?
Oh, Ron Dupree?
Didn't he catch, was that you?
No, it was Brandon Dean. He went to Arkansas. He ended up going to Arkansas.
Okay, I'm thinking about somebody else then. Yeah, I remember Dean one, but I thought Dupree got somebody on our team one time in that tournament.
Dupree, I saw him at LSU. He would jump out the gym. I mean, better than Stromile Swift when they used to go back and forth. Man.
Yeah, we didn't have some classic moments playing ball in high school.
We didn't see a lot of players, man. We done been around a lot of greats.
Between football and basketball.
Right.
Yeah, it's Junior will be coming over here next week. He stay out here by me. Him and Noonie stay out here. Well, I was about to say, back to the book though. So I heard you mention it earlier, like you was hesitant on releasing the book because it's an erotic book. What was going through your mind is like, should I or shouldn't I at that particular moment? Do you think was it negative against your career or was it like more personal?
I didn't think it was too much negative against my career because, like I said, a lot of my songs were borderline like that anyway. My own, like I said, and down the line, it's something that my son's gonna read. But it's fiction. I have to constantly tell people this is a fiction novel, this is a fiction book, a fiction erotica. So it's about letting your mind and your imagination, you know, expand, you know. So that was the only thing with, you know, releasing and actually having people say, oh, that's about you. Oh, this was with all. So you kind of got to watch that too, and then, but other than that, it was fun, man. I had fun.
And see, and that's what I find about with writing. You know, you're creating somebody else's imagination, and when they see that imagination, they're thinking, "Oh, that's how you really think, though."
Right.
So that's more. You know, with music, you can hide behind the beat, but with the book, you all out there.
Yeah, you wide open.
Twin.
Yeah,
So you about to say something?
Yeah, so about your book, so with a comparison to the fictional writing that you wrote, it comes a movie to mind, The Best Man. So is it that type of book? Like you got some events that has happened to you in your life, but it's more on a, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, going with it. yeah. I see your point, my man. So am I on the right track?
Well, I'll put it this way. Some of the experiences that you go through in life, you can relate to in the book as well. So then some of these are things that I actually want to do. That's on my bucket list, or things of that nature. So, or some of the stories that my homeboys done told me, or you know, that I done soaked up from them that go on. So a lot of these stories come from different places, but I just can't, you know, put them out to somebody. That's you. Yeah, you know. No, that's it's real tough, you know.
Hey, that book that your girl wrote to her best man, that's real talk too.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Good look.
Like the Zane books and Air Drum, like Zane, like she was a good writer, you know. Yeah. I don't know her personal life or what. From my understanding, I think she was like her writing. It was two different things. So I mean, but I have a lot, you know, my experience too is a lot of different things I experienced and seen that I just kind of, you know, gauge on and get. So it's pretty interesting. You gotta check it out. Y'all gotta check it out, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, how you doing, man? I'm sorry I'm late, everybody. But you can go ahead and share some stories about Batman. You know, if you want to, you know, just refer to as just go ahead and just refer to as a Necosaurus or something like that. We all get it. We'll buy it. Wait.
So on that note, is there stories in your book that's about Batman? You know what I'm saying? Like he changed the name. You know what I'm saying? Like, is there a story in there, Brandon?
I don't know what he have done in his bedroom. You know.
Hey, you see how my people do me?
You could just
me and my boy Stretch. Met this chick.
Yeah. The next day.
If y'all got any short stories y'all want to share with me, I mean, my next book, you know, so I can slide down and make y'all Derek or Eric or somebody, you know.
Hey, he's been a ghost. He was a ghost most of my childhood, man. He just appeared. That's all he did. You didn't see him coming, you didn't see him going.
Hey, man, moving silence. Tony Love, you the one that can probably write a book. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm working on it, man. But no, not a fictional book, but not based on anything. Not based on anything.
Sure. Yeah.
Not based on anything.
That's what they all say.
Fiction, right? Not based on anything.
Not based on anything. Pure fiction.
Based on slightly factual events.
I do have one book idea, and it's surrounding you know, the passing of my sister, just that whole story. It was sad and yet comical at the same time. I remember, you know, being at the funeral and everything, and you know, some of my boys and cousins was like, damn, your sister had a bunch of fine friends, though. Like, dude, we this ain't the time.
This ain't the place.
This ain't the place. I'm with you. Well, but no, we ain't talking to me. Go have that conversation over there, Playboy. I'm serious. Not today. Not today.
Hey, man.
And that's a New Orleans story, right?
Yeah. I mean, even when you spoke during the ceremony, that was
oh yeah.
You had to find a way to put some comedy in that. Beyond the book, so, and I saw that you posted this on Snap earlier, clothing line, as I see what you got on now. How did you get into that?
My clothing line is actually called School Clothes. And what is based upon what I want to do is I'm actually trying to start the younger generation to actually be able to start their own clothing line and then show them how to actually do it and actually run it and set it up for online stores and things of that nature. So this brand I got on now is actually my son's brand. So this is a Cool Kid line based off of School Clothes. So my goal is to be able to actually have school uniforms, the cool school uniforms, where it's not just like the ones we wearing every day. It's the action ones that the kids want to put on and actually make them feel like. Because if you feel like a certain way when you're going to school, you're going to actually pay more attention. Like if you just put on some stuff like you're in prison, you're going to feel like you're in prison. So that's actually my goal with that is to boost that up and actually give some style, some fashion to the school. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just, like I said, touching it with it. Like I said, the School Clothes line is actually doing good. I had 3 shirts I released last year. It was just based off the colors, and the colors was what stood for your status. So if you had a white shirt, student, you had a gray shirt, you was on the dean's list, and then black shirt was the president's list, because everybody want to feel like that top guy. That's how I've been marketing my shirt wearing. Just different places.
And that's a great idea, that school uniform. I remember my wife used to work at Avalon Bazaar back in the day, and just the amount of money that little place was making each year. Lord.
Just trying to bring some fashion to that sector.
So you kind of led into this. So with your son, has your son took any interest as far as entertainment at any level, or?
Yeah, actually, he's DJing. I got him on one of the DJ boards, so he's getting into the DJing part of it. He does some writing as well. Like I said, I got him up on YouTube. Like, hey, go on YouTube, research how to market clothes and because this is your line. I'm just setting it up for you. You can be able to take it home with. So I just YouTube, man, and all these sites, man, you can learn a lot. So it's got him studying and watching different things. And like I said, I'm not forcing him to do it. Just showing him different things he can do. So just showing him different sites and different things. So that's my goal, is to just get him wanting to do something, and then once from there, then I'll be able to show him what role to take.
Yeah, I think there's because I know all of us with our kids, they've showed a variety of interests, but I think it's definitely key, like you said, to give them the tools and let them make the decision themselves. They'll gravitate to whatever they want to gravitate to, but at least put the information out there so they can get to it and learn to be the best, whatever it be, whether it be art, music, sports, entertainment, whatever the case may be. Get that information out to them. That way they can take care of us. So we can retire and shit.
Well, I don't know about my son. He wanna open up his own spot and pay me $20 a week. So fuck him.
The oldest?
Yeah.
I mean, your payroll is about that money. They don't want to share. So
$20 a week.
Hey, that man trying to keep the money in his pocket.
Right. You gonna have your own retirement money, man. That's good.
So what's coming up next though? So you got any movies coming up or any other ventures you're looking into?
Writing the movies. Got some other ventures that I'm trying to that I'm doing too. Some different products I'm gonna be behind. Just trying to build a brand right now. Just build a brand, build my name up. So when I do drop these products, it makes more sense. I don't have to work at home. So that's what I'm just trying to build a brand and just have different streams of income, different things coming in. So that's what I've been working on. Writing, working on the second book. Now it's gonna be the second short story book, and I'll start doing some longer books as well. The short ones, the quick. A lot of people's attention span is not as long as it used to be.
Yeah.
So, you hit them with just a quick read. It's more, they're taking in more. So I think I'm actually creating a little something different that's the norm. So I'm actually going to try to ride that way to just create something that people else do.
Yeah, I agree with you on the attention span. My whole thing is if it's longer than the Bible, then I ain't reading it, you know.
Yeah.
What you trying to do?
So that's what I and like I said, I'm trying to coin the thing Quickie as a quick read and a quickie, so that's what I'm trying to coin that, get that out there.
Let's jump into some recent events. So one thing we spoke of last week with DMX when he overdosed. We kind of spoke on that last week as far as people reaching out and helping them out. In the entertainment business, I'm pretty sure you've seen some stuff. Like, do you think it's overhyped how bad drug use, alcohol use is in the entertainment business, or you think it's right on par? Like, as far as
I mean, the drug abuse thing. I mean, this period, we're not in entertainment. This period, and I mean, it's a money thing though. At the end of the day, like I said, if you look, I mean, people know what's going on. They know how they want to stop it. Just put it that way. So it's on the person that they sell to determine what you can handle, what you can't handle, or what you should do, or what you shouldn't do at the end of the day. Like if you smoking crack, then you know smoking crack is wrong. You know kids.
Yeah.
But Brandon, let me ask you this. So, but I'm gonna be a little specific. So, how visible is all of that in the industry?
It's really not visible because a lot of people do their favorite drugs behind the scenes when nobody knows what the drug is or what they're doing. So it's not visible. The only time it becomes visible when somebody becomes sick, ill, or to the point where you have to know about it. So it's not visible at all. I mean, you got to think about when we were growing up. It was actually really hit even more because they didn't have social media. They didn't have all those things out. You would have a parent or a relative who was actually indulging, and you didn't even know they was indulging.
Right.
Yeah.
Act different. They didn't talk different.
So I have a fraternity brother. He plays on the TV show Dynasty. His name is Sam Madoki. He's probably the only African American man on there. So I'm interested to hear your perspective. Now his perspective is totally different, and he said that shit's like everywhere, like it's accessible everywhere. Everywhere he go, he could get whatever he wanted: heroin, coke, weed, LSD, meth. He said, "Man, it's all over the place."
But I mean,
but also. He's also in Hollywood, so maybe that's different. You think that's the difference?
It's not just Hollywood. I mean, it's everywhere. You can get it anywhere that you in that circle of where it's at, you can get it. So I mean,
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, if you're looking for it, you're gonna find it.
Right. The fact of
Yeah.
it, that's what.
He wasn't looking for it. He just say that 9 times out of
Yeah.
anytime he goes to a function, it's I say this. He said it's available.
Yeah, and that it's actually more in the corporate world than it is in the entertainment.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's more there. You got CEOs and these type of people who's getting it and using it, and it's something that's there. It's like tobacco, it's like cigarettes, it's like alcohol. I mean, it's just that's their choice of what they're doing. I mean, they know that it can possibly in their life and hurt them. Now, so it's a sickness, and some people actually need help. And I mean, it's different places out there that they can actually, get the help from. I'm not medical field or anything, but I know it's some places people actually really need help. If you have family members that's out there that need the help, then you should try to seek to get them help. At least, make a conscious effort to get them help.
Yeah.
Just not look.
And you mentioned the corporate. Coming from I used to be in hospitality, and we would have our corporate guests that come in, and I'm looking for such and such room. That little extra guest that they bring in, and I've had this debate with the leadership team at my group. Like, hey, can we approach them on how they get this so we can have access to them? We can provide this. Like, no, we don't want that kind of heat at our property.
Mm-hmm.
But man, but it's gonna keep them coming back. That's gonna bring money to them. You don't want that kind of money.
Yeah.
That corporate, drug scene, prostitution. It's another animal that doesn't get, a light shine on.
Especially in the job that does a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the gateway.
Yeah.
You're traveling, 3 to 4 days out the week. They're looking for something to entertain themselves, and unfortunately, that's what they lead to. And I know you can have some stories at your hotels of professional events happen.
That's another book.
Right.
Yeah, man, stories on stories. So, but yeah, that's what we said last week. It was like, other people in the industry, they may or may have not reached out to DMX about their drug abuse and habits and try to help them. But like you said, that was a great point. It's like from his interview on Drink Champs, it didn't look like he was, on anything like per se, or when he did the verses, like you wouldn't even think that he was still on heavy drug use.
It was different because he was actually put on the drugs by a mentor of his. That's how he started on the drugs. So his and he actually went to places and tried to get help. So his story was kind of different because it wasn't like he chose. See, some people that's their choice. They choose to do that. But it wasn't like he chose to do something. Like it wasn't his choice for that. It just happened. That's what kind of the bad thing about it.
Yeah, and that's what we said too. Is like that makes it more heartbreaking. Is that it's somebody that you trust. You say that was his mentor that ended up getting him hooked on that. So it's that makes it even more heartbreaking how that happened.
Yeah.
To make people aware now too of the causes of what you do and what you partake with and put in your body. So like I said, if you're a marijuana smoker, go to a dispensary and get your marijuana. Don't buy your stuff off the street. Like it's ways that actually if you're gonna partake in something.
Yeah, those days are almost gone.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect segue on that. Yeah, so New York recently legalized weed. I think a couple of points I saw in there was like at home you can keep up to 5 pounds. On your person, you can keep up to 3 ounces. The cop can't search you if they just smell weed. You know what I'm saying? Like we all been in situations where, cops have used that as an excuse to, investigate, harass us, or whatever the case may be. Oh, I smell weed. let me search
Right.
the ID and stuff like that. We know people that got plenty of years just for like an ounce of weed or a joint, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's a big change, especially for it to be New York. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big deal to me, as far as going forward, as far as not having so many of us locked up over some petty shit and making us look like hardcore criminals.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, they're making more off taxes than you would make off the prison off of that. So
Yep.
it makes sense for them to legalize it now because taxes that they're charging off of it and what they're making. It's legal here in Oklahoma. And I mean, they make so much money just off of the taxes. So if they do it in all 50 states, I mean, it's going to boost the economy.
Cash cow.
You know, for the people that
I think this is going to do, the whole legalization of marijuana is going to do what alcohol did for prohibition in the Great Depression. That's really going to turn the economy around.
Yeah. Definitely think so. Let's take another quick break and then we can jump back in sports and go over some of the recent events there. All right, be right back. All right, jumping into NBA. Brandon, as we mentioned before, you know, you was a basketball player. Who you rolling with now? You still rolling with your Cavs, or you rolling with the Pelicans? What you doing?
Well, I'm a LeBron James fan, you know. So I'm a LeBron James. He's from Ohio, so you know I'm a LeBron James fan. So I travel with LeBron. You can say I'm team jumping or whatever. So I travel with LeBron, you know. So that's where I'm at. You know, I'm at the Lakers right now. So if LeBron goes somewhere else, I might go wherever he goes. But home base, I'm a Pelicans. You know, Pelicans. So if they play the Lakers, I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna just sit there and watch it.
Gotcha. So what you think about the Lakers with the injuries? I saw they won the other day. I was watching the game when they beat the Nets. And I was saying a good point, like with the coaching staff, the fact that the team is competing without LeBron and AD, because their defense is still top notch, is saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? So
it's called strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can take your best players off and then your bench players can actually see their roles, when it's time to put everybody together, you got a whole nother.
Oh yeah.
That's sometimes I think these players don't really be as hurt as they say.
Oh no.
Oh, I definitely think that. I think that's with AD, they definitely taking the safe route because all that really matters is for him to be healthy in the playoffs.
Yeah, but especially with this season, that short turnaround they had, they ain't playing all the games.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all better go ahead on with that.
So, I mean, the LeBron thing's a little bit different with the ankle sprain, but at the same time, you still just want to be cautious with him because he's, you know, he almost our age.
Maybe.
What you said?
Maybe. He had a cast on one day, now he was at regular shoes on another day. So, maybe.
I think also we take for granted that this man is 36 years old, 18 years in the game. You know,
but he also not human. But he also is not human.
That's true. There's a not human element to that, but he's still 36. and basketball and athlete time. That's still old in the athlete world. Mm-hmm. And still, you know, as effective as he is.
You think the Clippers can compete with them? With the Lakers? You think the Clippers got a chance to they might match up in the first round?
I think the game we watched the other day was the championship game. That's gonna be the two teams in the final.
Brooklyn and the Lakers.
I think that's gonna be the finals. That's my opinion. I just think that's what it's gonna be. I think it's set up for that. You know, you got the right people in New York right now, in that area. You got the right people in LA.
Yeah, if the NBA really want to make a big boom, that would be the prime, you know, ending that you want to have.
usually sports want to make the boom. I mean, you got to look at Tom Brady, how they went to Super Bowl as soon as he get to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
They want to make the boom.
Yeah. So yeah, we brought this up last week. Do you believe in the Jazz?
No.
Utah
Yeah,
Jazz.
the Utah Jazz. #1 team in the league. Do you believe in them?
I believe that the Jazz has a great team and a good story, but they don't have the money story. Like, who's buying Jazz jerseys? It's not happening. So they don't really have the storyline. The storyline is where we just talked about
You're not buying into Rudy Gobert, Brandon Inglis.
Good team. I mean, they got a good team, good things going. But I think once we get to the playoff time, we're going to see some things change.
Yeah, they that's what we said last week. It's sad, but nobody got faith in them, and it feels like it's a slap in the face, but it's not. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is nice, but there's nobody else on that team that you should be really intimidated by when it comes to the playoffs.
Hey, Rudy give you a strong 11 points a night, man. That's significant.
As a unit, they're a good team. As a unit, they're a good team. But when the lights are on and the cameras are on, and you got the hype of the playoffs, and I don't see it happening. I just don't see it.
And I think the league will be mad if the Utah Jazz make the finals too. Like that's not going to be an easy sell for people to watch the games. NBA ain't trying to see that shit.
I'm just not buying the Utah Jazz jersey. They're not doing it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't think they have a problem with it this year, and in the middle of a pandemic. I don't think they have a problem with that. You know, the arena's not at full capacity, so I don't think they have a problem with it on that end. But if this was a regular business as usual calendar year, Jazz, fuck y'all. just fill up the season. Do your thing.
Even now with the streaming thing, getting somebody to stream the Jazz, I don't see them just going and streaming the Jazz, so.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, when have you ever met a Jazz fan? I have never met a Jazz fan. Never.
I was up in that area, Wyoming, Utah, and all those little areas. And even those people are not Jazz. So I was like, oh man, the Jazz kids, they got it hard, man. They got it hard. And they're a good team. They got it hard, man.
Man.
They gotta super overachieve to even get people to buy in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's to the point like people saying the Phoenix Suns are better than the Utah Jazz. You know what I'm saying? That's another team that most people are not casually fans of, but that's bad when it's like, nah, Jazz ain't for real, but the Suns are. You know, that's that's saying a lot. But I do agree, regardless of where the Lakers see that I think that'll be the matchup, Lakers versus Brooklyn. Well, no. I'm not sold on Brooklyn yet. I think Philly might get them.
I still say it's the Bucks for me. I think the Bucks got a chip on their shoulder these past 2 seasons. To come up east.
Holiday makes a difference too, but
yeah.
I'm just going off of star power. I'm not even going off of the skill of the players. When you look at star power and ratings, I think the Nets probably got one of the highest rated star power teams in the league.
For me, I just can't trust Kyrie. I just can't.
He got kicked out last night.
Yeah. I mean, when you say you can't trust him, you mean that he won't go AWOL?
Right. I mean, not only AWOL from the team, AWOL in the middle of the game. It's period.
I don't know, man. He's killing. Like you said, when he's on the court.
Yeah.
Kyrie, I'm what I can say about Kyrie, like I said, especially during playoff time, he turns into a different player. So, like I said, I think they might all be giving about 75%.
That's a good point because he is injury prone too. So
Mhm.
it's in his best interest to kind of coast until he get there. Because like you said, once he's on the big lights, once the big lights is on, he can drop 40 on whoever's in front of him, whether they're 6 foot tall or 6'6". So that's the wild card. I mean, they got 3 people that's like that. You know what I'm saying? They got 3 people on their team that can drop 40 points at any time, and like only thing that can hold them back is injuries. But as far as when they're healthy, ain't no way you can guard all 3 of those dudes. It's gonna be a mismatch somewhere on the court.
Yeah.
So, and they,
But Hard give you 20-30. You got KD to give you 20-30. You got Kyrie to give you 20-30. They got the center now that can give you at least 20.
Yeah.
You got to score 100 points to beat them.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that, they're not the over the hill game. They're the coming down the hill game. They got a lot of mileage on them. A lot of mileage.
I don't know. It's but yeah, a lot of star power though.
Yeah.
Going to the NFL, so the draft, they've been trying to ride that out for forever. Ohio State, Justin Fields. How you feel about him? How he's been kind of disrespected as far as his abilities, as far as where he's gonna get drafted?
I don't think they really disrespect him, Justin. I just think the teams are trying to find their best position that they lack right now. So right now with quarterbacks, I mean, you got a lot of good quarterbacks. Right? You got a lot of good quarterbacks that came in last year, came in the year before last. So you got a lot of great quarterbacks right now. That quarterback position is kind of stacked up. So I don't think they're disrespecting. He just like to get in there and prove himself, at whatever team he land with. But he's going to fight for a position. I think it's going to be given to him. So that's how I look at it with the quarterback right now. Because it's a lot of the quarterback.
That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. Like there is a lot of, solid quarterbacks in the league now. It's hard to, especially with some of the recent drafted quarterbacks, they all ain't really panned out. There's a handful that's great as far as that's young, but there's also a whole bunch of them that's been missed on. So do you want to roll the dice on somebody young and potentially screw up your team?
I think this past season hurt him. Even though he had a good year, but they didn't play the full breadth of their schedule. And, he really wasn't put in any crunch time situations during the whole season. I mean, they plowed through everybody except Alabama. And I think, had he had the full season, really showing his whole skill set, maybe.
The person in the draft that I think is being looked over is Smith right now. I think they're actually looking over him. The Heisman winner, and they got him projected to go, I think 10 or down the line. I think that's who actually being looked over because if you look at his career and you follow his career, he was pretty flawless all the years he's been in Alabama.
Yeah. They I seen some people list him like as low as 18th, and I was like, it's kind of ridiculous to say he's gonna fall that far.
I think somebody's gonna shock the grab him early. I think they're just trying to keep it quiet so nobody else will grab him.
Saints.
That would be a nice pickup for the Saints, yeah. I mean, they have some speed out there with those receivers. But
we got an arm now. We can go downfield.
Yeah, you need somebody to throw it to because do y'all even have a deep threat? Because y'all let go of Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah,
y'all don't really have a deep threat right now. So,
we don't have this. Deontay Harris, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe Deontay, but.
You talking about y'all? I forgot. What's your team over there?
Saints. I'm Saints.
No, my team, the Titans, man. Whatever.
Hey man, the commentators hurt y'all this year in the playoffs, man. I blame it all on the commentators.
No, I blame you. So before this last year, he put this hex on my team talking about, oh yeah, y'all can go like 15-1. I was like, dog, don't put that type of pressure on us.
I said 14-2, sir.
That's still ridiculous. Like, I'm just happy to get our little 12 wins, make the playoffs, and see how it goes. You putting all this pressure on us like we supposed to be the best team in the league. We ain't that good.
I had y'all number 1 seed, man.
Man, I blame you, man. And then we had to get Lamar Jackson 2 years in a row. You know he wasn't gonna lose that second game. He was pissed off from last year what we did to him. So yeah, that was gonna be some. I blame you for that, bro.
Hey, when your running back got his own stiff arm highlight reel, I'm so.
Yeah, he be punching people in the face. But yeah, that damn Saints. I think y'all should be good, bro. Like I said, if y'all can get a receiver that can be a deep threat and mix it up with Alvin Kamara, y'all will be solid. Unless y'all gonna go defense early. You think you need a cornerback or something like that? But
probably that's what following Peyton's draft style. He either goes O-line or D-line in the high part of the draft, and then he gets his skill positions, or corner or DB in the first and second round, and then he'll get his wide receivers. Like he plucks an offensive player from nowhere and turns them into something. Traquan Smith from Temple, from Temple.
Yeah. So yeah, that should be a good move. So speaking of schools, small schools as far as football, Eddie George, former Tennessee Titan, took on the head coaching job at Tennessee State, HBCU, following along the lines of Deion Sanders. What do y'all think about that move as far as how that's going to draw attention and talent to more HBCUs?
I think this is a trend.
I think that's a great move. I think
it's
I think more NFL players should do that. And start going back and grabbing it and getting them some more TV time. But it's all about really getting the TV time, and getting the exposure for the kids. So I think it's a good move for
them. I know back in the day, like when we was in school, BET used to have all the HBCU games. Do any networks have any of that committed going forward?
Xfinity is starting to do that. Remember I showed you the Byron Allen Supreme Court case that he had, and they agreed. The Supreme Court sent it back down to the lower courts, and Xfinity, broke bread with them. Like, okay, we're going to include more of that in our programming. And I think going into this fall, before the pandemic, it was going to be a big deal, but it kind of fell off. But I think going into this fall right now, I think it's going to, be bigger than what they wanted to be according to last year.
Yeah, I know we was always at the Bayou Classic and during no time. That's when it was good. So think about the different classes they can have with Jackson State and these places, and they can bring the eyes to it. So I like the idea.
And a lot of these networks, they're really behind because, Black college football, they fill up, even with the Battle of the Bands. We went there last year, year before, and that filled up Reliance Stadium. And that is just for the bands.
And I know out here in Atlanta, they have what's the classic that they have here? I forgot. I think it's like Jackson State and somebody, and like that fills up the Georgia Dome and stuff like that. So like you said, it's an opportunity there as far as getting viewers. It may not be the viewers that they want. That's maybe part of the problems that is Black people, but it's going to put up numbers. You know what I'm saying? Just with the halftime shows alone.
But when it comes to spending power, you got to think about it. We spend the most money.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do push the needle.
Mm-hmm. So it's a big opportunity. Like I'm just thinking, like so many networks that we have now, like you can't tell me that you can't fit in the slot for 2 hours to get, you know what I'm saying, to play a game once a week, you know, Saturday afternoons. Whether it's Amazon or Hulu or somebody like that, they should be able, or whether it's like somebody local like Comcast, you should be able to make a move like that to get those views.
And as far as the HBCU exposure, I think back to Bill Walsh and Jared Rice. You know, he saw his highlights on accident, just on accident. He was They had a game in Houston, and he just turned on the news when he got in his hotel room and like, who the fuck is this dude? Mm-hmm. Just going off.
Walter Payton, like it's so many talents that came from HBCUs that, you know, they might be of the 10%. There's probably so many other players that have been missed out on that could have made it to the league.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an opportunity there to get those players, and I think that's what it's going to take. It's going to take NFL players to come back and go to these other schools, because you know, Deion Sanders, Eddie George, that's two big names. They both Eddie George be the Hall of Fame, right? He already in the Hall of Fame.
No, he's not. He's not
yet? Okay. Well, he should.
He's just a Heisman Trophy winner.
You know what I'm saying? But that's two big names that's going to have a huge following to draw talent and then bring it to the highlights and on TV and stuff.
And I think a lot of these kids coming out of high school now, they want to play now. You know, and they're willing to go to these smaller schools and, you know, just test shit up at these smaller schools and let these HBCUs be another avenue to do that. Because if you ain't gonna be sitting behind 6 other quarterbacks like you do at a Power 5 school.
So that's a good point. So Brandon, I know we mentioned this earlier as far as our high school team. I think that's something that we messed up at. Like we probably could have went to smaller schools, well, if we had the opportunities, if coach was sending the information out. But playing at a smaller school or whatever and getting that opportunity to play now, and then you could potentially transfer over. And I think that's something that kids do better at now. Like when we was growing up, we was always talking about North Carolina, Duke, Kentucky, Syracuse, et cetera, et cetera. But like so many kids now, they're going to smaller schools and still making a name for themselves. So I think that's something that's going to benefit these kids going forward if they use these, HBCUs or smaller schools or mid-majors to get that opportunity to put up the numbers.
Yeah, like I said, it's another step. Like I said, we didn't have nobody pushing us or even filming us or taking our highlight tapes and things of that nature. We didn't have anybody actually doing that. No video program. No video department doing that. I mean, we didn't have any of that. It was just that he was just playing, and hopefully a lot of this stuff goes behind the scenes of actually getting the kid a scholarship and getting the kid recruited. Like some work got to be actually put into that besides the kid playing. You can have a kid that's scoring 50 points a game and nobody knows about it. So I mean, those types of don't be seen. So it's the coach and on the school. I mean, they have a responsibility too to actually put the light on.
I think also technology plays into it too, because a kid can, you can have your best friend record you from the stands and put your highlights on YouTube or put them on IG and get you noticed that way too. So it's it's a different age and different time.
I remember like you said with your friend, the best example of that was that Gatorade commercial a few years back, where a kid hurdled over somebody. And they made a big the social media viral thing, and they got to Bob Stoops, and Bob Stoops came to the game and dapped them off like, "Hey man, we want you."
That's all it takes. All it takes is one play to just get you noticed. You know what I'm saying? And that's the beautiful thing about social media.
Yeah, we didn't even have teams go at team play AAU games during the summer league. Like you got teams now who going to Nike camps. They're taking a whole team to these camps and different places. I mean, we didn't even have none of that. Like, we would just show up, practice, play a game, and it wasn't no extra. You know, and like I said, it was a lot of good players then that actually probably could have went somewhere with the right type of guy. So
Yeah.
I just now any coaches that's with these kids, man, they just gotta believe in them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's better now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was hyped last year, year before last. My cousin, he was listed in top, future top undrafted picks at some magazine. I'm like, okay, man, you're gonna get invited to somebody camp. Looking at this little list that, top seniors to look at that won't get drafted.
Yeah, it's it's matter of fact, from our high school, I want to say it's like 3 or 4 of them that's potentially should make it to the NFL from the wide receivers. So like Muggsy, Kyle's nephew. You remember Renata Coxey, her nephew. He played at Memphis. He should be getting drafted this year. They got another dude that he's already on the Bills. I think he went to Southeastern. So it's like, and there's one more at Southeastern now. That's so it should be like 4 from like that little 3-year time frame receiving core that's that's trying to make it to the league. So
Southeastern ain't fucking around since they brought back their football program. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I think they
ain't nobody leaving this area.
Pretty much. They definitely pick a lot from the River Parish area, Thibodeau and stuff like that. Because Nicholls State used to be the spot to go to.
Yeah.
For people that didn't get no big name scholarship, they go locally, go there. But Southeastern definitely is I don't know if they paying, but they definitely grabbing all the talent, whatever they're doing. I don't know if they paying the crawfish or what.
Yeah, because your boy for the Falcons, Stephen Elf.
Yeah,
first round.
He's another one out here. Yeah.
Yeah, first round. It's out like.
Yeah, but he also ran like a 4.2. So I mean, you ain't getting past that. You know what I'm saying? So speed gonna always win on that. So Brandon, anything else you want to plug before we get out of here?
No, man, I just want to appreciate y'all for having me on your podcast, man. Like I said, I've been checking it out. And I got a lot of stuff. Y'all be going hard on it, so man, keep driving, keep pushing. Like I said, y'all.
I will watch Paid in Full someday.
Man, you ain't watching Paid in Full. I don't believe it, dog. But yeah, like so yeah, definitely check out Brandon. Check out the book, Sneaky Links. Just came out on Friday.
On Amazon, it's on Kindle right now. It's exclusive right now on Amazon, so I can't really put it in other places. But right now, that's where you can get it at. My clothing line is on schoolclothes.com. It's SKOLKLOTHES clothes, spelled that way. That's the clothing line. Got a lot of different things on their shirts and hats that you can get. We pretty fly with. And just check me out. But it's just, I'm gonna keep grinding, so hopefully I have my own production soon. And we're gonna keep applying pressure.
There you go,
man. Well, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time, man. Thanks for blessing us with your talents, bro. Keep doing your thing. I'm always support, and I'll see you next time you're home.
You got nothing supported here too, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, be easy.
All right.
All right, in closing, as we always do about this time, Tony Love, what have we learned this episode?
Well, we learned this episode, man, slave movies really put you in that place.
Bro, and like I said, like we grew up around plantations. Like he said, it's one thing to pass it up on the street. It's another thing to be on a damn set. And
like I said, when you're on those sets, and I can imagine growing up around them, you know, just the ancestors, the spirit is like, look at these niggas just playing in the street. God damn.
Oh man.
Oh
shit.
All right. The next, you know, writing is a different type of vulnerability. You writing that book, you know, really, you know, people look at you sideways.
You open yourself up.
I understand. I feel that way with the blog. Like sometimes I'll be blocked and everything with something I want to put out there, and all, and like, damn, you know,
how they gonna look at me?
How they gonna look at me? And 3, I don't trust Kyrie, man. I just don't. I don't.
I understand. I understand. I truly do. I think I don't trust him for the injury factor. For one.
But you know what though? What thing I don't trust about him is that before LeBron, you wasn't much of nothing. You know, with LeBron, you did good things, and I can understand why you want to be traded. You know, because you shot that last shot for them to go up 3 points and everything.
I will say this though, I don't think he was nothing, because remember he was All-Star MVP before.
Right. I mean nothing in the sense of winning.
Winning. Okay.
Yeah, winning. Yeah. You didn't win nothing with, you know, before LeBron. And so after, you know, you got that chip and everything, and you go to Boston, and now you're at the Nets, and you feel like you got an air about you. So like, oh, everybody know that was LeBron that did that. Mm-hmm. You know, you won because of LeBron. You by yourself, nothing.
Yeah,
and with Boston, they was doing stuff without you. So what you bringing to that?
You ain't bringing that pedigree per se.
Yeah, and just fourth, you know, I feel for Justin Fields, man. You know, the black quarterback, the top black quarterback in this draft, in my opinion, just really not getting the, you know, the love like he deserves, man. And I blame it on the season last year. You know, it's Big Ten. What you gonna do? Y'all ain't really trying to play nobody.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get much respect out the Big Ten as is.
Yeah,
I mean, when you shorten the season, it hurts you even more so. So
yeah,
they ain't trying, like you said, they ain't really trying to play somebody out of conference, you know, fuck up their chances.
Right, and and Nick Saban will tell you the first, like, I want to play these teams.
They ain't about that life.
He's like, I ain't trying to fuck with you, Alabama, man. He said, I'll play Arkansas. I'll play Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
I'll take my chances with South Carolina, but man, you better go ahead on, Nick.
They want SEC light. Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Ten.
Yeah.
Well, fuck them.
Right.
Pretty much. Anything else?
Nah, man, that's all I have there.
All right, but definitely good episode. Again, thank Brandon Pettis for joining us. Again, check out his books. I got a few of my friends that I went to school with. They little freaking McNasties. That's, you know, I ain't gonna say her name, but you know, Zane was up her alley, so she definitely should check this out.
I definitely I saw you posted them and everything for the pre-order. I'm definitely gonna swipe it tonight, man.
So we'll be back. We may not be back next week, but the week after. We will have a guest that week as well. More to come on that. But
okay.
As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll be back next time.
All right, man.
All right. Later.
Later.